Hi and welcome to the channel. Today, the next episode on the 350Z. Today we're going to get all the suspension components removed and we're going to make a start on that chassis rail. Right, okay, the first job we're going to do is we're going to remove this strut brace. That way we've got access to all the top of the nuts on each suspension leg either side. Right, let's get cracking. Okay, first of all we've got to remove the wiring loom. Just a little clip there. Slides off. And pop it out of there. Just like that, so we can get access to it. That can push out the way, so we're right there. And then onto the other side, there's one cable to sort. Let's move the camera over. Just pop that one out there. I'll do that in a minute. And then onto the 4 bolts each side. Right, onto the first side. Let's undo these 14mm nuts. Oh, wrong way. Oh, that's tight. Jeez. Do I need a bar on that? Oh, and that. Oh. Oh, blimey, they're well tight. Oh, probably rusted in. I'll be back. Right, one side done, on to the other one. Okay, let's get the final 4 off this side. Get out of the way, I'm going to knock it over. Right, now the strut brace is all loose, we can just lift it off. There we go. Oh, it's caught on the air. How's that? There we go. Brilliant, off it comes. Right, now the strut brace is off, you can quite clearly see the nut there for the suspension leg that we needed to get to both sides, so that's revealed that. Now we just need to go ahead, loosen off everything out. I'm going to take it off as one great big assembly, hopefully, that's the idea, and then drop the whole of that suspension on that side. Right, first up we're going to have this brake line off because I've agitated it with a wire brush. You can see it's dripping already. So let's just give this a bit of a clean up best we can. And then hopefully there's enough metal there to use a proper spanner on it, which will be 10mm, which is the other end. Let's see if we can. No, it's just going to spin, isn't it? It's almost rounded off. Right, not too concerned about this because we're replacing this anyway. Let's try a pair of mole grips. No, it's just sliding. Oh, right, still sins. If not, we're just going to cut it. Oh, we've got some movement, or is it just going to snap? Nope, that's moving. Oh no, it's going to snap. Yeah, quite clearly. There we go. The pipe's just going to snap. Never mind. At least it's going to come off. There we go. Right, now we're going to have the rest of this brake line off because it's completely corroded. Every single ferrule's rusted away. I've had a go at doing that one, but it just twists. Same with that one there. I think it was just going to have to try best to get this off without snapping everything on. It's going to snap anyway, but I said everything is that corroded. Make do with what we got. Right, that one's almost out. And we'll just prise this brake line off. Catch anything coming out of there. It's not a lot. Let's get this out of there. Okay, that's the brake line loose. Just pull it out of the way, we'll deal with that later. Let's just tuck it up there so it's out of the way. Come back to that bit because I don't want to break that bracket there. Right, now we just need to undo all the bolts and then hopefully we can drop the whole of that unit together, complete with wishbones, without messing around. Okay, right, I've undone that one there, which I think was either an 18 or 19. But in order to get that wishbone out, you've got to take off the whole of this lower support, which you can quite clearly see underneath. It's very corroded anyway, so we're going to have it off. As I said, there's 2 14s each side, and obviously the main one, which we've already undone. So we need to do that both sides, and there's 2 at the front. Once that cradle comes out, you should be able to remove that lower wishbone, which is the main stopping point in getting the whole of this front assembly off. Okay, right, that's all the bolts undone. We should just be able to lower it to the floor now. Here it goes. It just needs a little bit of persuasion. Or have I missed another one? Hang on. That's with my pry bar. There we go. A little bit of persuasion, that's all it needed. Right, there we have the front support holding the two lower wishbones at the rear. That's all safely removed, but you can see how crispy it is. Now let's come around here, let's get out the light of the camera. There we go. So I think we're going to have to source a second-hand one of these in better condition, as I don't think there's much point even trying to clean this one up, especially on the driver's side over here. As you can see, it is very heavily corroded. But it came off all right though. Right, let's move on to the next stage. Now that bracket is off, we should just be able to get in here and prise off this rear lower wishbone. Here it comes. Once that's off, we can move forward, disconnect the steering, disconnect the front wishbone, anti-roll bar I've already done, and then it should just be the top strut mount, and then we're ready to go. Here it comes. There we go. Right, next up, I don't know if you can see it because it's bad light, we're going to do the steering castellated nut with a split pin there. Then we're going to do the front wishbone. We're going to do it at the subframe end so we don't have to take it off the hub. Then we're going to undo the top wishbone. That way we can just disconnect this, pop the leg, and then when we've got the leg out and everything, we can then go in there and get proper access to the upper wishbone bolts. Okay, just the front wishbone to go, and then we've got the 3 on the strut top, and then we should have this assembly clear. 3 on the top mount now, and then hopefully the whole of this assembly will be free. Just be careful, I've got it under the jack, I don't want to drop it all on my feet. Right, no movement so far, which is good. Right, we're all good. Right, let's reposition the camera and we'll just lower this jack and the whole thing, hopefully, fingers crossed, will come off. Right, I'm going to slowly lower the trolley jack and then hopefully this will all come away nice and easy. Right, here we go. It's coming. There we go, that's free. Looks like we're there. Just going to roll the trolley jack out the way. Lift that up. Let's use my foot. Easy as 7 goes, it's stuck on the mat. Right, I think we're clear. Just move the steering out the way. Yes, there we go. One complete suspension unit. Right, there's the driver's side all completely removed. Just need to repeat the process on the passenger side now. But before we do that, we'll just take a quick look at this side to see what we're up against. Obviously we know the extent of the damage there, so we'll sort that. But also now we've got all of that off, you can see the extent of the corrosion here. Get it all clean up and give it a good old prime and everything. But before we do any of that, we need to move on to the other side, strip that as well, before we then start thinking about cutting this and putting on the replacement. Now, as I'm working my way around, I think I might as well take off the anti-roll bar because it needs a good clean up anyway. 414s both sides, we'll crack on and do those. Probably going to have a couple of stubborn ones, but we've got some twist sockets, so we should be alright. Okay, here it comes. Okay, that's all loose this side. Should be able to just pull it off. There we go. Right, let's move on to the other side. Okay, the passenger side wasn't as easy. I've got 3 of them undone, but one started rounding off with a normal 14mm socket. So I put a twist socket on, which is nice and tight, and we have got it moving. So in theory, it's just this last one. Just hope it doesn't shear off. No, there we go. It's coming. Right, that's it. The anti-roll bar should be free. There we go. Right, there we have it, one anti-roll bar. Right, the anti-roll bar itself isn't that bad a condition, just the sides of obviously the original powder coat has come off, so it's started to corrode, but only surface. Both sides, if you come around, you can quite clearly see this is nice, decent, just needs a good clean up. Again, the corrosion there, plus the drops links are absolutely knackered. There you go, completely corroded, and very loose. Let's go to the other side. Look at the state of that one, heavily corroded and very sloppy, so they need replacing as well, as does most of the front of the suspension. Right, moving on to the passenger side, we're going to completely strip this. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's exactly the same as the other side and that would be boring as hell. So basically, this is it before and after, and there's the whole unit right over there. Right, before we move on and cut off the chassis rail on the other side, I think I'm going to take off this front subframe supporting the engine and the steering rack. because it's pretty crispy and they're going to need a good clean up by the looks of it. May need repairing, so we'll have a go at that. First of all, we need to take off the steering rack, which is obviously bolted to it up there. We'll support that so it doesn't drop on its own, and then we'll obviously support the engine as well underneath, and then we should be able to get that subframe off and take a look at that. Right, next up we're going to have the steering rack off. I'm not going to disconnect any of the lines or any of the hoses or the steering knuckle. We're just literally going to unbolt it from the subframe and leave it suspended. I've cable tied both sides up, this side loosely, but that won't drop because obviously that's still attached to the steering knuckle there, but the other side will. It's held on by two 17s there and then two 14s across there. Right, well I've cracked off the bolts and I've undone them so they're pretty loose now. Just got to do the last little bit. Can't get a ratchet up in there, so it's down to a spanner. Which end? One there. Excellent. So pull those out and that should just hang there. Yeah, lovely. Right, I'll go to the other side. Okay, just the last few turns on these 14s. And then that steering rack should come clear of that front subframe. Right, that one's almost out. You can see it moved out. Just pop that there. Tricky there because everything's in the way. Right, take the glove off, it's easier. Nice little bit by fingers. There we go, take that bracket away. And there we go. Just held on with those cable ties, just tighten them up a little bit. There we go. Right, time to get the subframe off. This is held in with three each side. You've got a 19 there, a 19 there, and you've got one 17 up there for the engine mount both sides. But before we do that, we're just going to support the gearbox, support the engine, and then we can crack those nuts and get that subframe off. Right, so I've supported the gearbox with an axle stand and we've chopped up the sump with a bit of wood, so we should be all right now to remove that front subframe. Okay, right onto the driver's side. Oh, that's tight. That's the back one done. Let's crack that front one off. Oh, that's tight as well. Excellent. Here we go. Right, last one coming undone. I'm going to go to the other side, lower the trolley jack, and then hopefully this will just drop to the floor, as long as I haven't missed anything. Right, here goes. Let's undo the trolley jack, and hopefully that subframe will just come away without knocking everything. Ease to the ground. There we go, that side's all right. It's caught on the other side, but I think it's pretty much free. Right, it just needs a little bit of persuasion on this side because obviously it didn't come down square. So a bit of a pry bar in there, we should be able to slowly prise it off. It says. I haven't missed anything, have I? No, here we go. Here it comes. Ah, I see. The cables are attached to it, okay. The hoses are, so we need to undo those and then it will come clear. Well, I did miss some bolts and nuts, shall we say. Never done one of these before, so it's pretty obvious I was going to miss something. There's just a couple of 10s there holding that bracket, which obviously supports all of the power steering pipes. We'll get that off and then the whole of the subframe will be free. Right, that bracket's finally off, just dangling there, all attached to the steering rack still. So we'll just lower the jack again on this side. And then we should, this time, be able to remove the whole of that front subframe. Well, it's more of a support bar really, it's not a complete subframe, is it? Right, now we should be able to pull it off and slide it out. There we go. Right, there it is in all its rusty glory. It's not too bad, it's all surface rust, so we can get this scraped off, cleaned up, and give it a good old paint before eventually rebuilding it. The worst bit's obviously this leading edge, as you can see there clearly, but there's no holes, it's literally just surface rust where the original powder coatings come off. So yeah, we'll add this to the list of many jobs on this 350Z. Now that both sides have been completely stripped, you can quite clearly see how much surface rust there is. I said it just needs a lot of TLC both sides. I can't see any bits that need welding at the moment, but until we start sanding it back, getting rid of all that rust, we won't know. Let's go check the driver's side out as well. Hang on. There we go, there's the driver's side. It isn't as bad as the other side, but again, obviously we've got this damaged chassis rail. But that's the next job. We need to cut this off and then prepare the replacement. And there we have it, another good afternoon's work. It's looking very sorry for itself, but now we've got access to everything. We can crack on, get this thing all cleaned up and slowly start rebuilding this front end. Well, that's about it for this episode on the 350Z. In the next episode, we're going to remove that chassis rail and then hopefully clean up all the inner arches, rust treat them, and then prep them ready for paint. It may be a while before you see content on this one again. I have a few other little projects up my sleeve that I need to address before this one, but we do need to get this out of the workshop. Anyway, please comment, like, or even subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.